Have you ever wanted to look into retro games but aren't sure where to begin? Do you ever wonder which classic games stand the test of time and which ones don't hold up? These are some questions that have been bothering me for a while now, and I think it's about time to do something about it. So I'm going through gaming's history one game at a time to try to find the best games of all time. Welcome to the Gaming Archaeologist. Megaman is an interesting character. Many video game icons have maintained their visibility over time because most of them have consistently had new installments over the years, for better or worse. But for whatever reason, Megaman has fallen into relative obscurity, with his only major activity lately being his appearance in the latest Super Smash Bros. Game. But before he disappeared from the spotlight, he starred in many games, the very first of which stretches all the way back to 1987 on the NES. I'd heard of Mega Man before, but until I started looking into older games, I hadn't known much about him. So has his recent loss in visibility been because his games weren't actually all that good, or was it just bad luck on his part? Let's take a look. Visually, Mega Man is pretty striking. All of the sprites are detailed and colorful, and Mega Man himself is a fun character to play as. In addition, each of the levels you play through is distinct and unique, with a different environment and colors. It gives you the sense that you're making your way through a real place, rather than just a series of platforms. The graphics do show their age a bit, and there is sometimes sprite flickering if there's too much going on. But for the most part, Mega Man is visually quite charming, and still pretty nice to look at. The sound design is good, and the music in particular is very well put together. The music track for each level suits the respective environments very well, and helps make playing through the game a memorable and enjoyable time. In terms of story and character, the Mega Man series actually has a lot of detailed lore, and after looking into it, I have to say it's actually pretty interesting. But most of it doesn't actually appear in the games themselves, so a strong narrative isn't Mega Man's strong point. What is its strong point, of course, is the gameplay. Like most 2D platformers, Mega Man takes its basic gameplay and structure from Super Mario Bros. You jump across platforms, avoid enemies, and try to reach the end of each level. But Mega Man does a number of things that make it its own beast. Instead of proceeding through the levels linearly, you have the option of choosing the order in which you complete the stages. Each stage has a boss fight at the end, and if you can defeat them, you gain their ability. You can get through the whole game just by using the starting blaster, but the new abilities offer new ways of overcoming obstacles and can make seemingly impossible challenges more manageable. Mega Man's difficulty is pretty fair, and damn it. As I was saying, damn it. Okay, the game is for the most part fair, but it does have its archaic quirks that drag the experience down a bit. First of all, it has an annoying live system that sends you all the way back to the beginning of the level if you run out. I get that this was a common feature of NES games to try to hide the fact that the game isn't all that long, but it's really cheap and annoying. If I've demonstrated that I can overcome a challenge, I shouldn't be forced to do it again just because the next challenge gave me trouble. Another issue is the controls. Overall they're fine, but Mega Man often acts like he's walking on ice, and if you have to suddenly stop, he keeps moving for a second. Normally it doesn't matter, but the slightly slippery movement sometimes means that you'll end up running right into the very hazard you were trying to avoid. And of course, oh come on! There are the arbitrary one-hit kill obstacles. Mega Man has a health bar that allows players to make a few mistakes but still recover, which is a better design choice than having the player die in one hit. However, this gets thrown out the window when dealing with certain things like spikes. No chance to recover, you're just dead. But while it does have its problems, Mega Man at its core is still quite fun. The platforming is satisfying and well paced. Each of the abilities you can get is pretty useful and fun to use, even if some of them are limited to certain contexts. And for an 8-bit game, it's got a pleasing and memorable aesthetic. So does it hold up? Overall, I would say kind of. It's fairly short, it's definitely got a few archaic flaws and quirks that hold it back, and it's not something that would appeal to everyone. But I had fun with it, and if you're into retro or retro-style platformers, I think it's worth looking at. My final score for Mega Man is a 6 out of 10. So those were my thoughts on the very first Mega Man game. What do you think? Have you played it? Do you think it still holds up, or did it not grab you? Whatever you think, be sure to let me know in the comments below. The next game I'll be looking at is Castlevania. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one.